No, you've caught me polishing my microphone. This is my lucky commentary microphone because it will be in action in around about an hour and a half's time, because we're recording a brand new commentary for an hour video release that, in my estimation, is one of the most eagerly awaited films that's been left behind on VHS and never been seen on any other format since. So it's thrilling, and we have the director of the movie joining us as well. A little bit tense, but you people come first. Here we go. Welcome to Inside the Video Store. It's a packed week as well. It's a packed week. We have a stack of new releases and boutique releases, as it is the last week of the month, as you all know. We also have some really cool films having been rented out this week. There's some really good selections going out. And also, of course, what's in the box, which primarily consists of the Vinegar Syndrome delivery, which I haven't even looked at, because all I've been doing is pretty much watching this one specific film for the past 6 nights. And then a few other bits and bobs that has come in. So without further ado, time is of a premium today. Let's have a look at the newbies. And it is quite a stack. It is quite a stack, to be honest. A very nice one indeed. I put this on social media, and kind of there's a degree of pride to be had that all these films can be rented from your local movie rental store this week, which is very cool indeed. This is the latest film from A24. At least I thought it was A24. Might not be. But nevertheless, it's We Live in Time, with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh, which looks like an old-fashioned romance, which is the type of film that rarely comes out on Blu-ray and DVD these days. So yeah, it's very nice to see this one coming out. I'm sure it'll be popular, and it will fill a void that we've been wanting to fill for quite some time. As I said on previous occasions, films like this don't come out anymore because they don't really sell copies. But thankfully this one has, and hopefully people will rent it in their droves. Next up, we have the new film by Andrea Arnold, brilliant British director from Kent. Directed one of my favorite indies of the last 20 years, which is Red Room, which you must try and see if you can. Bird sounds typically a kitchen sink, but nevertheless, she's a stunning director. She did a film in America that I'm not sure was as well received as her British film. It's called American Honey. But her British films are just outstanding. Fish Tank as well, if you've not seen it, really does deserve your attention. It's a spectacular piece of British filmmaking. And yeah, by all accounts, this sounds pretty much the same. So yeah, that is Andrea Arnold's Bird, out now on Blu-ray. This looks interesting. Again, on Blu-ray only. It's Escape from the 21st Century. I was speaking to Mike Parkin from the DTV Digest podcast about this last night. He's seen it. He thought it was very cool. It's a little bit of a teeny film, but he kind of says there's a bit of big Groundhog Day in it. There's a bit of just a little bit crazy. You know, you really do have to keep up with it and moves at a frenetic pace. The box art is saying language English, and his copy that he saw, it was subtitled. So I don't know what you're going to get. I might take it home in the meantime and take a look. But yeah, that is Escape from the 21st Century, which is out this week, courtesy of Signature Entertainment, only on Blu-ray. So that's the newbies, the contemporary releases. Now I've got a big stack of stuff from elsewhere. It's wonderful, wonderful. We have 1, 2 from Eureka, starting with Shaolin Boxers. Yes, it's another. I think people in the Eureka forums hate the fact that all these Far Eastern films are coming out, because of course back in the day, Eureka used to be the label for classic silent cinema, which it still does, and stuff that European cinema, shall we say, with smatterings of Japanese mixed in, stuff like what's it? Nani Baba, is it? A few bits and bobs. But yeah, and today, of course, they are primarily leaning towards Asian, but they have announced some really interesting European releases of late. More about Eureka later. I've got a little observation to talk about. This is Shaolin Boxers. Yeah, a slice of martial arts mayhem that draws upon the most enduring elements of the Hong Kong action film. Oh, nearly lost the stack there. Next up, we have a double bill in the Daredevils and Ode to Gallantry. Now, I know those of you who watch these films, you'll be very familiar with Cheng Che. Of course, one of the pivotal, well, he was known as the godfather of Hong Kong cinema, wasn't he? So, he is the man. Most notable film being Five Deadly Venoms, which featured the celebrated Venom Mob. The Venom Mob back together, and these are two of their films. You have the Daredevils and Ode to Gallantry, a nice little double bill from Eureka, Chang Che, 1979 and 1982. Sticking with Far Eastern cinema, but moving on to 18. I think 18 had about 8 releases out today, this week, which is just nuts. Some of them I didn't get. They're doing a line of Asian dramas, which aren't, I don't think they got the rental appeal. I don't know if they got the sales appeal, to be honest, but we'll see. Even stuff like the Japaniki stuff rents, but the rum porno stuff is a bit more difficult to sell. But we got some new ones in anyway, which I'll describe later. Shaw Brothers, The Lady is the Boss. This is a late period Shaw Brothers film. We're talking 1983. Culture class comedy, it's described as, with Kung Fu. A thoroughly Americanized young woman returns to Hong Kong to visit the martial arts school founded by her father and shakes it up with some trendy new ideas. Looks great. That is The Lady is the Boss. Had this one on DVD for a few years, but here it is on Blu-ray as part of the Slasher Classic Collection. It is, of course, Dark Night of the Scarecrow, Frank DeFolitta's film, with Charles Durning, Elaine Smith, and it's got some great extras. We have 1, 2, 3 audio commentaries on there, as well as a few interviews and bits and bobs. So a very spanking release from 88 Films for Dark Night of the Scarecrow. Excellent. 88 do have the most diverse mix of films. And this is Castaway, which is a welcome addition to the Snips archive, to be honest. This Castaway, I don't think it's ever been out on DVD in the UK. Might be wrong. But nevertheless, I have never had it in the store before. 2 commentaries on here. Interviews with the DP as well. Of course, it's a Nick Rogue film with Oliver Reed and Amanda Donahoe. I'm sure most of you have seen it cropping up late night on Channel 4 back in the day. And yeah, it's good to have this film. Nick Rogue isn't a director that people flock to, but I like to have his films here. He's an important British filmmaker. Now, let's have a look at these 2 Roman pornos that are out from 88 Films this week. I mean, they're not going to rent unless I start watching them, and I do need to do that. First up, we have Girl Hell. Girl Hell, where passions are inflamed in an elite school for girls in the 1930s. 2 of the students find solace away from the crowd in each other's company, but can their love flourish amongst the corrupting influence of their parents and the school's sinister principal? Directed by one of the most regarded directors of the Nekatsu Roman porno erotic line, Masaru Kanuma, this gothic-styled erotic nightmare is by turns sensual, surreal, horrific, and otherworldly. I mean, to be honest, in that description alone, it's pretty much sold it to me. And yeah, Looks great, 1977. Although this one looks just as good. It is Assault, Jack the Ripper, about a serious young man working as a cake decorator in an upmarket coffee shop. He finds himself led seriously astray by his feisty waitress co-worker after a chance encounter with a disturbed young woman fuels their passion for murder, and they embark on a vicious killing spree. Sounds great. Part serial killer slasher movie, part coming-of-age romantic drama. This outrageous sexploitation film by Yasuharu Hasabi. It's the standout title in the mid-70s violent porno subgenre of its erotic Roman porno line. 72 minutes as well. So, I mean, you can knock this off in the morning before work, which I will be doing. Looks great. This has been spoken about a great deal. Many people were kind of aghast that this would even pass the BBFC, but it's been rated 15 certificate. And this is Pinocchio 964, which depicts the nightmarishly surreal adventures of an illegally manufactured sex android. I mean, come on. You know, if you don't want to rent stuff like this, why are you watching this show? I mean, these are the films to be proud of. But yeah, that's great. Pinocchio 964, really excited to see that. And it'll fit nicely in this gold Obi strip Japaniki range that I'm really, really enjoying from 88 Films. From Raro Video, courtesy of Radiance, we have Rulers of the City. It's another film by Fernando De Leo. I have this in the back on DVD from Raro. This Blu-ray is stacked. Fernando De Leo is my favorite filmmaker in the poliziotteschi genre. I mean, some of his films like Milano Calibro 9 are just, I would class that as one of my top 20 films of all time. I love that film to pieces. So yeah, any film by him is a very welcome addition at Snips. So we have a nice little Raro Video line growing somewhere here, there, which is looking nice. Looking nice. I think there's another one of his here, isn't he? Yeah, the Italian Connection, rather. There we go. No, I could swear I had this in from the Days of Tartan, but for some reason I didn't. It is The Eel, Shohei Imamura's film. Very controversial upon its release, probably still controversial today. It dates from 1997. And it's about a man who is released from prison and put on parole. He was in prison for murdering his wife. And he's put on parole, accompanied only by his pet eel. Hoping to stay out of trouble, he takes over a rural barber shop. But the discovery of a woman's failed suicide starts a chain reaction that brings past demons and not just his own. It won this director his second Palme d'Or. I mean, that was the reputation this film had. And I could swear I saw it back in the day, but I have no recollection. And it's weird I don't have it here, which is bizarre. It seems like the obvious film I would have. But now I have, because of Radiance, who again are doing great work with putting out some amazing, amazing films. Speaking of Radiance and amazing films, look at this little box that they put out this week. It is Hard Boiled. 3 pulp thrillers by Alain Corneau. Nice little set of 3 movies. We have, what do we have? We have Police Python 357, about a tough cop who finds himself implicated in a murder. We have Série Noire, where Patrick Dewar attempts to save a young girl from prostitution, with murder the only solution. And we have In Choice of Arms, a gang on the run turned to retired criminal for shelter, causing violence and danger. Very nice set, all on individual discs. Not the cheapest, I must admit. I did kind of think cheekily that paying a premium price might guarantee 3 separate cases, but who cares? It's not important. The fact is, saves a bit of space, and Lord knows I need a bit of space in this store. But yeah, that's a great release from Radiance. I love these box sets they do. I can't wait for their next World Noir box set. Finally, probably one of the most anticipated films of the month is Godzilla vs. Biollante, the 1989 Godzilla film, the second film of the franchise's resurgence in the 1980s. Brilliant, just brilliant. Of course, this is out on Criterion in the usual dual formats. The customer came in last night for the 4K UHD, which made me cry as I wanted to watch it, but then I realized I didn't have time to watch it. But I will be watching it this weekend. I love these Criterion dual formats, as I have told you on multiple occasions in the past. And yeah, just great to have another Godzilla film. Our Criterion Godzilla box set rents like hell. It really does rent like hell, which is great to see. People dipping out of that, in and out of that all the time. So I'm sure this will do the same. And that is this week's stack of new releases. Next week we have one boutique release, but it's a great one. It's a great one. But this week, crazy. It'll be fun putting them away, won't it? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? Good Lord. Anyway, what's been going out on loan this week? Well, quite a mixed bag, to be honest. Free Solo is out on loan. Quite excited about this because this was one of the films selected by Rebecca. Rebecca is the latest participant in our 5 films series, which has a new episode every Sunday. Rebecca's episode will be this Sunday, which is, what's that, the 30th, is it? So check out that and check out her reasons for selecting this film. It is a very interesting reason, and Rebecca was absolutely fantastic. Really was an absolute delight, and yeah, she's great. And she even shouted out the names of every film that she picked, which is kind of important, I guess, in hindsight. Mental note. I Saw the TV Glow is, quite frankly, the biggest renting film at Snips and has been since the first week in January. This film has not been in and not out on loan for longer than 3 or 4 days total out of the last 3 months. Remarkable. Just people are renting lists like hotcakes. And so they should. It's a remarkable film, and I'm glad people are watching it and getting something out of it. And damn you, A24, for making this film so annoyingly annoying to buy. One of the groups of films that really does rent out, I don't draw attention to, is the Universal horror films. I've got most of them here on Blu-ray, and it is remarkable how regularly they rent out. The most popular ones are undoubtedly Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, although Bela Lugosi's Dracula is really popular as well and goes out quite frequently. So it was a real pleasure this week to see The Mummy going out, which I love The Mummy. I think it's great. And also gave this customer the 4 sequels as well, just in case, because they're only short, aren't they? What are the Mummy's Turn, The Mummy's Hand, Mummy's Ghost, Mummy's Curse. I'm sure they're only a short running time, so I thought, well, give them a go. You can always, again, it's the type of film you can knock off in the morning or just before bed, or in bed, or on the move. No, not on the move. Don't watch anything on your phone. So yeah, really cool to see those going out. Critters. Hey, our old friend Critters went out. This was a new customer who had never been in the store before. She was looking to get some films that reminded her of childhood and things like that and growing up. So she rented Child's Play and American Tail, Five Goes West. And she rented Critters as well. And just as she was leaving, I said, hey, by the way, I've done the audio commentary on this, so if you want to press your audio button on your remote control, you can listen to the guy in the video shop talking about the film. She just gave me the weirdest look, as if to say, I don't have a clue what you're talking about. And probably for the best, quite frankly, probably for the best. But yeah, Critters, good. Always good to see Critters going out on one of my another new customer this week, he used his first rentals on Accident Man and Accident Man 2, two Scott Adkins films. I do like Scott Adkins, maybe not his politics, but I like Scott Adkins. I have a little section for Scott Adkins because I think he's an important, he plays an important role in modern day action movies. And it's really nice to see people dipping into that and watching his films, which is great. I mean, this was wonderful. I mean, some people might get nervous about renting this out to people, but I know Liv, and I know she loves this film and will respect it. 1928. Brilliant. The Passion of Joan of Arc. Passion of Joan of Arc. Isn't that wonderful? So cool to see films like this going out, and to younger people as well. Nothing better, nothing better. And it is a stunning release from Eureka, isn't it? I mean, wow. Just absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant release. One of their best releases today, I would think. It's The Passion of Joan of Arc. Also, Ed rented Kosh Boy. I've moved my BFI Flipside section, as you know, to the front of the store. And it's renting like never before, which is so good to see. The Pleasure Girls rented out the other week. This week, Kosh Boy has rented out, and there's so many great films there. And it's nice to see people dipping in because they're on a much more browsable level. And finally, in the rentables this week, we had Short Bus out on loan, which went out to another new customer. How to scare a new customer off by recommending Short Bus to them. Then again, I don't think this customer could be scared off by anything. But more about that in the coming weeks. Yeah, Short Bus, one of my favorite films. One of my favorite films. Cover art does not represent the content. I've just ordered it on Blu-ray from Oscilloscope Labs in America, a region-free Blu-ray, because this kind of film needs 1080p. God damn it. Yeah, there we go. I mean, what brilliant, brilliant selection of online. Well done, customers. Well done, customers. Okay, we'll dip into Vinegar Syndrome in a second. First things first, just a few other oddments that have come in over the past 7 days. Two from Mondo Macabro. I love Mondo Macabro. Brilliant label. I love the oddities that they put out. I'm loving the Spanish giallos that they're putting out, like The Killer Is Not Alone, 1973. It's great. And they're reasonably priced as well. They're reasonably priced as well. One of their 3 releases this month was region locked, so I didn't pick that one up, so I just picked up the other 2. So I have The Killer Is Not Alone, a lovely Spanish giallo, and we also have The Hungry Snake Woman. You know, this is why you come here. This is why you come here. For context, it's directed by the guy who directed The Warrior, which if you've rented The Warrior, then you'll know what to expect. Described as one of the wildest and craziest Indonesian horror films ever made. It's a phantasmagorical ride through a world of cannibal slave maidens, chainsaw-wielding heroes, a possessed go-go dancer, exploding rib cages, bizarre black magic spells, a dash of kung fu fighting, buckets of gore, and even a little bit of sex. Amazing, amazing. That is The Hungry Snake Woman. I think you need to put that on your watch lists. This was recommended by the person who rented Short Bus. A fantastic woman, which they tell me is a stunning piece of work about a trans woman's journey for acceptance and to fight for acceptance. It is quite cheeky though on the front, because my friend Gaz, who you know, he came in last night. He's like, "This looks amazing. Oh, it's Pedro Almodovar. Look, Almodovar at his best. Almodovar at his best." But in tiny writing, it's as good as Almodovar at his best, which I don't like, because that's taken away from the director, Sebastian Lelio. That's taking the attention away from him and making people think it's a Pedro Almodovar film, and it's not. Anyway, fantastic one. It came out a couple of years back. I thought I had it on DVD. I didn't. Now I've got it on Blu-ray. Really pleased about that. Also, Killers of the Flower Moon is in. Killers of the Flower Moon, and it's on loan. It's been out a couple of times this week. I know what you're thinking. You think, well, everyone's seen an Apple. Everyone's seen an Apple. They haven't seen an Apple because some people won't pay for Apple. Some people will not pay for Apple. So here it is. It's on 4K UHD and Blu-ray as well. It's an Italian import. It comes up with a menu just after you put the disc in, which says English or Italian. You pick English and then everything is hunky-dory. Even the Native American language is subtitled in English. And it's great. It's just fantastic. So pleased to have this in. I would have hated to have gone on through life without having a Martin Scorsese film here that's out. So it's really important to have this film here, which is very, very cool indeed. Killers of the Flower Moon. So let's have a look at this Vinegar Syndrome parcel. And I must admit, it sounds terrible. It's not the most inspiring. There's some good stuff here. I mean, I will watch everything here, but there's nothing here whereby I'm locking up the shop at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to run home and watch it. Not that I would ever do that, of course. But yeah, it's a solid month. Solid month. But unexceptional, in my estimation. Unexceptional. But that's no harm. That's no harm. That's no bother. What do we got? Let's get the porn out of the way first. From Picorama, we have The Tapestry of Passion and All Night Long. I think one of these. All Night Long sounds the most intriguing. Where super studs John Holmes and Rick Lutz have been selected by the Health and Home Society to compete for the coveted Golden Rod Award, an honour bestowed to the man who can satisfy the greatest number of women over the course of a single night. Good Lord. But hey, it's Blu-ray. Can't rent that, won't be renting that. That would be illegal. But I am a collector, so it will be stashed somewhere in under lock and key, obviously. From, I can't see this very well, can you? From Distripix, in conjunction with Something Weird, we have Career Bed and SX by Advertisement. These are two films by a gentleman by the name of Joel Reed. Joel Reed, you would know, he directed Blood-Sucking Freaks. I say you would know, but I just presume these things. You people tend to know more than I do. And early in his career, of course, he did a bit of the old nudie films. And these are two of them, including his debut, Career Bed, starring Jennifer Wells, no less. And then his second feature, Sex by Advertisement. So yeah, both black and white, 1968. Look, all right. Take a look at those. Interesting line, Distripix. I like the cases. I like these hardback cases. I like, yeah, I like what they're doing. Interesting stuff. So yeah, that's the smut out the way. Let's have a look at this. Now, this is the one exciting thing. This can never be not exciting. It is Volume 8 of Vinegar Syndrome's Forgotten Jali box set. Love these sets to bits, even though that's on the wrong way around. There we go. Love these sets to bits. They really do contain some interesting selections, which are so rare. I mean, what do we got now? Volume 8, that's 24 films these contain. Nutty. We have, oh, sorry, the very snappily titled AAA Masseuse Good Looking Offers Her Services. Yes, that is the actual title. AAA Masseuse Good Looking Offers Her Services. There we go. Yeah, it's classed as an early giallo that leaned as heavily on sex and nudity as it did on the more traditional whodunit plotting. This is from 1978. Superb. Love that title. Love that title to bits. Then we have Rings of Fear. Expertly blending in-your-face trashiness with a stylish and well-developed murder mystery. Sounds great. It's often considered a spiritual sequel to the earlier giallo classic, What Have You Done to Solange? By again casting Fabio Testi, the brilliant Fabio Testi. Superb. And finally, we have Reflections in Black. Considered them to be one of the most obscure efforts to emerge from the genre's mid-70s sex and prostitute-themed narrative trend. John Richardson is in this, Dagmar Lassander is in this, Giacomo Rossi Stewart is in this. It's virtually unseen since the video era, so this is quite a coup to have Reflections in Black on Blu-ray. All of these Forgotten Gialli box sets are up there and available to rent. I've got one customer playing his way through them at the moment, and he's having a whale of a time, as he should. What else have we got from Vinegar Syndrome? Not much, really. This one is sadly going on the old eBay. It's region locked. It's Devil Fetus. Devil Fetus. I think 88 Films are releasing it later in the year. But yeah, it's region A, neither use nor ornament. So yeah, that's sad, but never mind. There we go. Also from Vinegar Syndrome, interesting release. I think I have this on DVD in my barely acknowledged Dennis Potter section. It is Brimstone and Treacle, out on both 4K UHD and Blu-ray as well. Originally written for British television, of course. Yeah, that's true. The 1976 BBC TV play was deemed so controversial that it was pulled prior to airing and not broadcast until 1987. But then the 1982 film version was adapted for the screen by Potter, and it had director Richard Long Crane at the helm. A haunting and deeply disturbing slice of modern British Gothic with an electrifying central performance by Sting. Denham Elliott and Joan Plowright star as well. To be honest, that is quite intriguing. That is quite intriguing. So that's all the Vinegar Syndrome stuff done. So other than that, we just have the best of the rest, which is the Agfa Mystery Mixtape Vault, which I don't know what to expect from this, really. It kind of says it's a 2-disc, 500-minute odyssey that collects 8 feature-length VHS mixtapes from the crackpots at Agfa. Don't know what to expect with this. Don't know what to expect with this. I mean, 8 hours of mixtapes, I think it's just short films all packed together. Sort of weird and wonderful oddities, but we shall have a look. We have Cannibal Orgy. God, we really are slumming it this week, aren't we? We really are slumming it. Cannibal Orgy and the films of J.T. the Fourth. J.T. the Fourth is John Henry Timmins the Fourth. Yeah, is a late musician and filmmaker based in Chicago. They feel like an unholy alliance between David Bowie and Charles Manson. Interesting. It does not, however, include The Cure for Insomnia, Timmins' 85-hour movie that holds the Guinness World Record for the longest film ever made. Well, although he mainly identified as straight, J.T. the Fourth was refreshingly open about his same-sex relationships in his autobiography, making these works exciting discoveries in the realm of alternative and underground cinema. Looks very interesting, to be honest. And Bleeding Skull, they really do dig up some wholly unique films. Documentary here from ETR Media. It is American Expendables, the films of North American Pictures. Kind of looks at the unsung action stars of the late 80s and early 90s in the North American Pictures catalogue. I'm not sure what the North American Pictures catalogue is. I did ask Matty Budrevich, who's kind of like a PhD in action filmmaking, but nevertheless, we have Cynthia Rothrock here, we have Bolo Young here, we have Billy Blanks, and a little bit about the martial arts craze that swept up the video industry at the start of the 90s. Should be fun. It's only an hour, but if you're into action movies, then American Expendables might be worth a quick look. And finally, from the Gose video, we have 38 Especial, which is on the gritty streets of Mexico City. Yeah, it's a bit of mexploitation for you. An urban cop action slasher shot on film and finished on videotape. An early entry into the incredibly prolific Mexican video home phenomenon, with a bleak tone influenced by Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry films. Looks good. Looks good, from 1992. 1992. So yeah, another one for the weird ones. So yeah, that's pretty much all. Nevertheless, nothing remotely mainstream from Vinegar Syndrome. But that's the way we like it. That's the way we like it. Look at that up. Yeah, but there's lots there. There's lots there that I can recommend to lots of customers, because I have so many different customers who have got their own little peccadillos and their own little kinks for the various Vinegar Syndrome sub-labels, which is brilliant. Okie dokie, we're nearly through, because it's 7 minutes to 6. I'm on air in 37 minutes, so we best get cracking and go through some comments. One thing I quickly wanted to mention before the comments section. I know I've said it before, and I know it's becoming more, well, increasingly difficult to do. That's just to buy things when they come out. Buy things when they come out if you can. I know life is continually throwing up obstacles in our way. I'm sure the majority of you in the UK have been hit by a council tax bill this week that's probably 5 or 10% up on last year. So, you know, disposable income is becoming increasingly fragile. It's becoming harder and harder to, you know, afford the things we love. Add to that, you know, the price of Blu-rays and UHDs are going up. You know, we have the Mexican tariffs. So many of these discs are finished in Mexico. So we can only imagine. But yeah, Masters of Cinema. I dipped into my Masters of Cinema wish list the other day, because, as I told you in the past, I'm kind of trying to hit all of my wish lists and get them right down, because I hate things being there because I know at some point they won't be there, because people will buy them and they'll go out of stock. And I had this you know, I love my Master Cinema section, but over the years I haven't got every one. Like, you can't get every one, it's impossible. But there's been stuff I've missed out on because the budget hasn't stretched in previous years to allow me to get it. So I've kept a listing of all the ones I haven't got, and I go through it from time to time. But I had a look last night just to see it. So many are going out of print, and are just ridiculous prices. You know, King of Hearts, the Anna Bates film, is out of print. The White Reindeer is out of print. The Chant of Jimmy Blacksmith has now gone. Son of the Sheikh has now gone. Raining in the Mountain has now gone. A Fistful of Dynamite has now gone. Throwdown is out of print. I think there's a couple more, but yeah, it's amazing. So I'm going to really focus on the next few months to try and clean up this wish list. I had to buy one last night, which I didn't really want to do, but it was something that I was really intrigued about. I got volume 1. I don't know if you're aware of it, the early classics. Have I got it within grabbing distance? Probably not. I don't want it to disappear for about half an hour. Give me a sec. They released a really lovely box set of early classics from Universal. This is it. Silent stuff. You know, we had Skinner's Dress Suit, The Shield of Honor, and The Shakedown. Early Universal Volume 1. 1926, 1927, 1928. It's a great set. This is now out of print, and I think I saw one on eBay last night for 70 quid. I didn't buy Volume 2. When it came out, the price of course was 30 quid. It wasn't in my budget a couple of years ago, and I thought, I'll pick it up when it goes down. It didn't go down. And of course, checked my wish list, and the price had disappeared, which means it kind of out of print. I had a look on eBay, Thankfully, there was one lone copy on eBay for 25 quid, so I thought, right, get it now. But it's crazy how quickly these things go out of print. And you really need to buy. I know a lot of this is engineered by them doing low print runs, but in this day and age, I think they have to do low print runs because they can't guarantee that sales will be there. Okie dokie. Let's have a look at the comments from last week and wrap this thing up. We have Lee Marn, who said that box set section is a thing of beauty. Yes, it is, Lee. It is a thing of beauty. My favorite section in the store, quite possibly. Andy Martin said, great show as usual. Regarding your Mel Brooks comment, Robin Hood Men in Tights and Young Frankenstein do have UK Blu-ray releases. And I read that. I got the UK Blu-ray release of Young Frankenstein, which is great. It's such a perennial renter. Tom Jolis says, flashback memories of Quackbusters. Classic. Quackbusters, which came in last week, the Daffy Duck film, is indeed a classic. Rise of the Phoenix. Here's a mad question. Have you heard of the movie Killer Condom? Yes, I have. And I thought I had it on Blu-ray. But no, I've just got it up higher. Yeah. Did it not come out on Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome? Thought it did. I think it did, but don't think I picked it up. But yeah, we have the movie Killer Condom. I came across a copy of it in a local charity shop and thought of you instantly. Thank you, Rise of the Phoenix. I'm glad that Killer Condoms remind you of me. I can pick it up and mail it to you if you want to add it to the store. Well, thank you, but I have it on DVD, and it's a wonderful DVD that I treasure dearly. It's funny. Yeah, James says, I thought My Dinner with Andre was fantastic, and a lot of the dialogue is still relevant today. Yes, it is. It's a fantastic film. And I've got something on that coming up in 5 films in the coming weeks, which you must keep an eye out for. Film Wolf says, in honor of the recent passing of Wings Hauser, I watched The Siege of Firebase Gloria, one of Brian Trenchard Smith's best films. Arlie Emery stars as a tough-ass Marine Sergeant. Great Vietnam flick. Have you seen it? Do you have it? I'm going to disappear again. But yeah, it's a wonderful film. Available in the MGM Manufactured on Demand collection. It is a brilliant, brilliant movie. If you haven't seen it and you want to pay homage to Wings Hauser, please check out The Siege of Firebase Gloria. It's one of the best war films you'll see. I'm sure my copy has a little scratch on it. No, I think I replaced it. Yeah. But yeah, it's mega. It is absolutely mega. One of the best war films you'll see. That is The Siege of Firebase Gloria. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, we mentioned Amityville. I was thinking about an Amityville section, all the really shitty Amityville films that people hate, just to be a real contrarian. And Tom Jolliffe has said, I'm responsible for one of those Amityville films. You are, Tom. I'm going to pluck it out on the bottom shelf of my British horror section. Blame Tom, everybody. Blame Tom for Witches of Amityville. It's his fault. I'm responsible, says Tom. Witches of Amityville, which you may have lurking in a dusty corner. It is quite dusty down there, actually. Ironically, the whole Amityville angle was an afterthought from the distributor when I was already one draft into the script. They shot it in England and in most of the English and un-Amityville locations possible. It starred Skinny Mac Staple, Kira Reid-Lorsch. One reviewer compared it to CBBC afternoon horror shows like The Demon Headmaster, as if that's a bad thing. That's very true. That's quite a compliment in my eyes. Yeah, Witches of Amityville, written by our viewer, Tom Jolliffe. Franco-esque, Woody's latest Coupe de Chance is on Blu-ray in various places. I've taken your advice, Franco-esque, and ordered it from the USA. I don't know if it'll be region free, but we'll take a chance. We'll take a chance. And We Can Rebuild Him blog says, I know you love your German Blu-rays, and though you have them all on DVD, then there's a new Sam Peckinpah box set. Looks right up your alley. I've checked it out. Looks absolutely fantastic. So I will look into that. Corey the Third says about Laurie Gemser, the celebration in a box, referring to the Emmanuel box that I pointed out last week, and it is amazing. And Indie Phantom Sofa Cinema finally says, if your store was 90 minutes away, I'd have been there half a dozen times by now. I know. Never mind. So he's halfway through the Wings Hauser film, The Carpenter. And he mentions about how there's a slight disparity in the gore scenes in The Carpenter because the scenes that contain gore were edited out of the only print that they could find. So they had to reinsert the gore scenes from a less, I think, a Video Master or something like that. So you can see a slight differential between the when the gore scenes are on and when it isn't. But it didn't bother me that much, to be honest. It didn't bother me. Right, I must crack on. Honestly, I'm starting to get a little bit tense. Thank you for watching. And yeah, make sure you watch 5 films on Sunday. It's a great episode. It's a great episode. And thank you for watching it so far and supporting it as well. It's really cool. The store's subscribers have boomed recently to just over 1,100, which is tremendous. And as you can see, still no adverts. Won't be doing that. But yeah, thank you. Any questions or any comments, drop them in the usual place. Next week will be a very sedate one, I think. A very sedate one. So we can look forward to that. We can pop the champagne. We can chill. We can get the smoking jacket on. Maybe a cigar. And relax next week. And yeah, and that will be in 7 days' time.